everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. This review is for Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 5, Episode 18, Friends Are Lovers. So this week, we're going to get into the episode starting with Maurice. We see that he gets him a new cellmate. His name is Lex. Lex comes in and he greets Maurice, but of course Maurice is rude as hell as always. But Maurice getting a new cellmate is great for us because we do not have to listen to Maurice making these phone calls to his friends, acting like some spoiled, entitled brat. So now he got somebody to talk to and keep his mind occupied. So yes, thank you, Jesus. So anyway, the guy comes in and he was like, I've been watching you for a while and I think you kind of sexy. Maurice is looking at him like, okay. Maurice is stupid. So the guy was like, you don't have to be mean to me. Maurice like, I'm not being mean. I'm just being a diva. So he asking all these questions and Maurice like, well, what you doing in here? And he tells him that the prosecutor wants him to tell on his friends, but he's not going to do that. So Maurice started thinking about it. He was like, oh, you think I'm stupid. You probably an informant for that prosecutor. Lex was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So basically, he just let Maurice know that, you know, he gets lonely sometimes and he wanted someone to talk to. So I'm guessing he just went up to a guard and said, hey, put me in that cell right there because, you know, I need somebody to talk to. So I didn't know they was doing it like that. But he tells Maurice, you know, I've been in here for a year, basically because he could not make bail. And his charge is actually bank fraud. So Maurice looking all crazy like, damn, a whole year. Like, I guess his thing is like he could actually be sitting in there for a year or longer if he doesn't acquiesce to what John Williams want him to do. And when that is being turned on Sabrina. But, you know, at any rate, the two of them, they get to talking about the beds, and Maurice lets him know you can take the top because I am a bottom on occasion. So we go over there to Sabrina's, and her and Danny are over there after getting high as Cooter Brown last week. Now I guess they done came all the way down off their high because now Sabrina over there looking like she about to cry with her lip poked out. Apparently, she must have got the phone call that she is officially fired from the bank, so now she's talking about it. Danny was like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, at least you have your savings. Sabrina was like, you know, that was supposed to be for her house. And I'm surprised she didn't say anything about her mom. But, you know, it is what it is. She just got to find something else to do. So, you know, I guess Danny don't want to talk about Preston no more. I guess they already had conversations about that. I'm surprised we haven't seen them have a conversation about Jonah. Apparently, Sabrina is privy to what happened. We did not see that conversation. I would like to have seen Danny actually talk about it with someone. Once again, swept under the rug. But I guess, you know, I got to let that go because I thought that was a big enough storyline to where it could have been more than what it was. But, you know, that's just me. So Danny keeps looking at her phone because we know her little twat over there twitching and she's ready to make some phone calls. So Sabrina notices her looking at the phone and she's like, well, are you ready to go? And she was like, you know, I keep looking at the phone because, you know, I'm thinking about Ubering for a car. We get the whole little thing about the car all of a sudden out of the blue. She's been Ubering around all over town since the Jonah incident, which we know is not possible because you was just getting ready to give Q a ride just a week or two ago. But child, whatever. It don't even matter. So she tells her, look, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go home. I'll give you a call tomorrow. And she tells her she loves her. Before Sabrina's door could close good enough, Danny on the other side of the door dialing digits. And who does she call? None other than Quincy. But we're not shocked or appalled because we already knew that's what was going to happen. We already peeped game. We knew she was going to call him and he was ready. Just sitting and chilling in the car ready and waiting on this phone call because he already know what time it is with Danny. He knew he was going to get her sooner or later. So later on, we get to Danny's house and she gets this knock on the door. We know that it's Q. She lets him in. He comes in like Father God. This thing is nice. He's looking around like he know he getting ready to set up shop lovely over there because we know if he can help it, he is not leaving. The same way he wouldn't leave Maurice's place, but hey, that's on Danny. So the two of them sit down and Q asks her does she want something to smoke. She tells him that she has her own. So they go into the whole conversation about her not trusting men and trusting him and what happened and all of this. And she can't believe she has this man sitting in her house and he has on a whole ankle monitor. Quiet as it's kept, Danny, I think that's what you like about him. The whole bad boy image that he has an ankle monitor and he's roaming around the streets like it's nothing. You like that bad boy type, whereas Preston wasn't like a bad boy. He's like a good guy. And Q just over there just thugged out. So Q tells Danny that he's gonna make her trust him and she wants to know how is he gonna do that. So he stands up and starts taking off all his clothes all the way down to the ankle monitor. And he was like, I just want you to know that I don't have any weapons. And of course, I guess his little mandingo is all the way out there poking her in her face damn near. She's like, you can use that thing right there as a weapon. And I guess Q must already know what it takes. He knows what he got down there. He already know because it won Maurice over. But whatever. So she was like, put your clothes back on, put your clothes back on. And he was like, I'm getting ready to go lay in the bed because we know he been cramped up in that car for days. So now he want to stretch his long body out and lay the hell down where we know once he get in that bed, time gone. So she's like, you not going to get your funky behind up in my bed. He says, well, I took a shower at the job before I left. So my thing, Danny, when he told you he took a shower at the job, you didn't think to ask him where he live at, why he taking the shower at the job and put the same clothes back on? That ain't click like ding, ding, ding. Like, where you live at? Like, why is you showering at the job? Girl, no. So he was like, well, do you want me to leave? Child, Danny couldn't even say no. She want this chocolate. She want the chocolate, y'all. I'm telling you. She been wanting this chocolate for a little minute. She couldn't say no. This lady proceeds to say, do you have any condoms? And of course, he goes to digging in his pocket. And I said to myself, I said, watch he pull out a Magnum. And lo and behold, he pulls out the Magnum, talking about always. I'm like, child. Now, Danny, you know you dead wrong, right? So you done had this whole experience with Jonah, and now you still bringing yet another stranger to your home because you feel like you need to have sex to get over whatever it was that was going on with Preston. Which makes no sense because the whole time Preston was there, you barely was home. You was at work, you come home, go out to have drinks with Q, then come home to Preston, or then you leave there to go to the penthouse, then you go to work, come home and go to Sabrina's house. He tried to propose, which that was all wrong and all that anyway. But the whole thing is, you really wasn't studying Preston like that. And if I felt like you had a sex addiction like that, you would have been hunching Preston. Y'all didn't have sex. So it can't be all about sex with you. But you do hunch a lot, seem like. You just hunch anything. But I think you actually like Q. And you're going to be in for a real shock. I cannot wait to see your face when you see who he really is. Because that's what your ass get. Because I told you, do not take Q back to your place. For as a matter of fact, you shouldn't be taking anybody back to your place. Has it even been a week since the whole Jonah incident? Girl, you ain't changed not now sheet. You done had Jonah in your bed, sweating and little itty bitty Peter juices. Then you had Preston actually laying up in the sheets not even hours after the incident happened. Then now you finna go and let Q lay up in there. That's probably why Sabrina was sniffing the sheets, because they stank as hell. Girl, get it together. Just get it together. So we get to the fight scene from last week where Zach went to confront Karen at the restaurant. He all screaming in her face and goes to grab her arm. That's when Aaron stepped in, as he should, and the two of them get to fighting all over the restaurant. I mean, Zach getting his licks, Aaron getting his licks. In walks Fatima and Angela. Fatima goes over to Zach and tries to get him to look at her to calm his behind down. Aaron, he's over there, got Andi and Karen over there screaming for him to stop. Andi goes to hollering, let's go, let's go. Where's the back door? So the three of them, they go find the back door. Fatima telling Zach, look, let's go, stop it, let's go, calming him down. And Zach is like, I'm just trying to be a good guy. I'm just trying to be a good guy. Look, Zach, I understand that you feel like you're trying to be a good guy. You are trying to make changes, and that's good and wonderful. But at the same time, you were dead wrong for even going all over the city, even looking for Karen to begin with. You should have never left your house after being confronted with a phone in your face from somebody who that same day told you they trusted you. So that's what you should have threw back in Fatima's face and made her go research where the picture came from, since she couldn't tell you at the time. You shouldn't have to automatically assume it was Karen and go ranting and raving all over the city, hollering like a banshee and pushing the girl in the seat the way you did. That was just ridiculous. But hey, it is what it is. So after we see Fatima calming Zach down, they pan to Angela, who got a frown and scowl on her face and rolling her eyes at Zach as if she can't stand Zach. And I'm like, Angela, what is that all about? Does this have to do with Bryce, or you have a problem with Zach when it comes to your friend Fatima? Because we noticed two separate shows, but what was that all about? And the way you rolled your eyes as if you really have a deep-rooted problem with Zach, which leads me to believe you might have something to do with the whole picture thing. Was it get back because of Bryce, girl? Let us know what time it is. So they're getting ready to head out the door, and the manager of the restaurant tells Fatima and Zach that he's going to call the police. Like, child, okay, and Fatima tells him F him, and they walk out. So Angela goes up to the manager guy and tells him to call her. And I'm not sure if she just was shooting her shot or the two of them actually been hooking up. But you never know with Angela, and she is not to be trusted. So we are going to continue to keep our good eye on Miss Thing. So we're still at the steam plant, and in walks Gary. He sees that the restaurant is out of order, and the manager tells him, they'll try to get him a table ready. He spots Robin at the bar and lets the manager know he'll be up to the bar talking to that person while he waits. He goes up there to talk to Robin, looking around, asking Robin, like, what happened? Robin tells him customers had an altercation. Gary wants to know, do Robin know who it was? Like, Gary, first of all, stop talking to me, is what I would have said. Like, we're not friends for you to just be asking me all these questions. And what difference does it make if he knew who was fighting in the restaurant? Your ass probably had a telescope outside the restaurant and already know who was fighting. So just stop it. So Robin asks him, like, you just randomly happen to pop up? Like, what you doing here type thing. He tried to make it seem like he be hanging out in all the local spots. So, child, whatever. So the two of them, he looks at his drink and tells Robin, let me get your next drink because I know you need to be saving your cash. Robin looking at him like, so what you trying to say? So they go into this whole little thing about the call and the money and him being leveraged and all this and that. Robin ends up telling him that he has the money for the company and he already put it in the business account. Gary's face was molded as hell. He was in his feelings and couldn't believe it. He was in shock. I'm like, that's all good and all. That was good that he, was in his feelings about it. But I wish Robin would have never said anything, because now you talking too soon. Like, damn, y'all be talking too much. Now, unless you got some kind of plan we don't know about, I feel like you should have waited. But, that's on your ass. So His table ended up, Gary's table was ready, so he went over there. He told him he'll still send him a drink by the bartender who was MIA the whole time they were talking. So he goes over there to his little table that the manager got for him. So Gary goes to his table and he immediately calls Hayden. Hayden is forced to answer the phone by Tamara, and when he sees that it's Gary, he's like, "What? Like, what do you want?" Gary tells him, "Look, I just talked to Robin, and he told me that he has the money to put up for the company." And Hayden is like, "There's no way. He's too leveraged." He was like, "Well, that's what he told me. He says that money has been placed in the business account." Hayden was like, "Well, if it's in the business account, then I'm able to find out where it came from." And first of all, I want to know, what difference does it make where it came from? Was there stipulations on where you get the money from? Does it even matter? Number two, now I'm starting to think that maybe Robin told Gary that the money was in the business account to set the two of them up, because he knew that they would go and searching for it just like they're trying to do. So maybe that was a good thing he did. So we'll see. But now I'm starting to see that it might just be a plan that he had to set these fools up. So we'll see. So he tells him that he's trying to get his groove on. He'll look busy. Gary didn't give a damn. He didn't want to hear. He like, "Well, I'll just talk to you tomorrow." So Hayden is over there madly in love with Tamara already and just met the girl. She's telling him she needs to leave. She has to get her a job. And he was like, "No, no, no, you don't have to get a job." Basically trying to imply that he may take care of her. She's like, "Well, she's not the type of girl that will let a man take care of her." And he was like, "Look, this is what we can do. We can just have sex all night, and in the morning, we'll get you a job." She was like, "Well, you don't even know what I do." He said, "I absolutely know what you can do." Like, she was like, "I'm talking about work-wise." So I guess he's going to probably try to get her a job as his secretary at the law firm. So hopefully that doesn't pose a problem later on, because if she's working at the law firm and then run into Fatima, then they might get caught talking about the whole situation like that or something. So who knows? But she seems to kind of like Hayden, which I think they make a cute little couple. So I wouldn't even be mad at it. I just don't want it to come out that she was actually hired to be with him, which, would Fatima really give a damn? I doubt it. But at the end of the day, y'all, Hayden seems to be falling in love. So we have Angela taking Fatima home from the restaurant, and they're sitting in the car going back and forth. "Are you sure? Is everything okay? Do you want to come back my house while Zach cools off?" Fatima 1,000 times says she's fine. It's fine. She'll be okay. All of that. I'm trying to figure out, why is Fatima sitting outside waiting on Zach as if she doesn't have a key? Girl, you the one left the house last. So where's your key at? Why are you waiting on him? So Angela was like, "What if he don't come straight home?" And she like, "He better." Girl, what are you talking about? He better. Why didn't you get in the car with him in the first place when y'all left the restaurant? What's the point of you getting in the car with Angela? Angela should have took her behind home. So they go in the house, and Fatima gives Zach some ice to put on his hand. He's, I guess, having him a little rough little day. So he just, trying to collect his thoughts. And Fatima come with all that, "Are you happy? You happy? You feel better about yourself?" type stuff. Zach like, "What are you talking about?" So she tries to tell him why. Well, no. She asked him why was he fighting Aaron. And he tells her that because Aaron always running off at his mouth instead of minding his business. Now, one thing I could say when it comes to Zach and Aaron, I can't understand why every time Zach is around Aaron, he gets this wild hairpist behind about it. Like, he, to me, overreacts and is overly aggressive and angry all the time when it comes to Aaron. And it just don't look good. It's like, okay, you talking to Karen and he's trying to basically always trying to calm you down or diffuse the situation, and you feel like, oh, he need to mind his business. But at the same time, you be doing too much. You really be doing too much with Aaron, And Aaron don't really be doing nothing to you like that for you to be acting the way you do, to be honest. Now, that's just that on that, in my opinion. But back to them two. So Fatima was like, no, it was about you being mad at Karen. And Zach was like, how you gonna tell me what it's about? Like, I don't need you, I don't need a therapist. So they go back and forth about that. So Zach says he's really tired of Karen coming up and being part of the problem in their relationship all the time. Fatima says, well, I told you she had nothing to do with the picture. Zach was like, well, who was it then? She says, I told you that it was somebody Angela knows. I said, hold the hell up. I said, Fatima, you lying. You are lying, girl. When that man asked you who it was last week in the kitchen, you told him don't worry about it. So stop lying, girl. You are part of the problem. So Fatima jumps off of the picture thing and reminds Zach that he has a record. Zach is like, okay, Ann? She was like, well, you're going to go back to jail. So Zach says, well, let me ask you a question. Why every time you get pissed off and storm out of here and go put bitches' faces through the walls and almost kill a mofo, it's okay. But when I do something, I'm getting scolded like a child. So Fatima over there, like I said, I'm like, girl, why are you acting like that? Like, it's starting to be annoying to me. Like, I want y'all to be good, but it's like, this not working. So Zach gets mad. He's like, look, I'm not going through all this. I'm going to bed. So she says, well, yeah, over there on that couch. Zach like, what? Like, girl, don't be playing with me. Like, I ain't sleeping on no couch. I'm not sleeping on the couch in my own damn house. And she's like, oh, I was waiting on that. I was waiting on that. Like, what are you talking about, Fatima? What are you talking about? It's kind of like a figure of speech type thing. It's not like he said, look, this my house. I bought this house for me. This my shit. This ain't your shit. That's not what he said. It's just a figure of speech. Nobody ever says, oh, I'm not sleeping on no couch in our house. Like, that sounds stupid, girl. Like, come on. Stop. You cause a lot of your problems, to be honest, Fatima. Like, it's stupid. So, child, she start yelling, oh, if you think I can't find another bed to sleep in, then you got me effed up. And Zach like, girl, what is you even talking about? Like, just calm down. You not going nowhere. He just trying to, control the situation. She getting elevated, more hyped up. Like, you don't tell me what the F to do and this and that and the other. I'm like, Fatima, you really showed your entire behind in this house. And it was like you was trying to beat Zach mad. Like, one minute you trust him, the next minute you don't. Zach, he's like, wait. Like, and then I was kind of glad that he was like, well, if that's how you feel, then leave then. Bye. And then you hesitated like you wasn't ready to go until you saw that he was serious. And then once you did say F you and walked out, he's still standing there looking like he about to cry. I'm like, you better not go after her this time. You better not go after her. But I see in the next episode, you begging and pleading again. I'm like, I'm sick of that. Like, you did nothing wrong the entire day. Why are you apologizing? Why? You did nothing wrong. I don't understand. Like, no, I don't understand. Fatima is going to have to stand in her stuff and get her shit together. All that throwing up what your ex did. Don't nobody want to keep hearing that. Don't nobody want to hear that. If he sit there and talk about Karen all day and night, you'll have a problem with that. So stop it. Stop it. Don't know what, if you got issues, you don't need to be with nobody. Nobody told you to jump in a relationship quickly after, I don't know how long it's been with Ian, but nobody told you to try to get in a relationship with anybody. If you're not ready, you need to go deal with your insecurities, girl. Now, you all right and all, but come on now. Wrong is wrong. And you was dead ass wrong in this whole entire fight, in my opinion. So we get to Karen's house, and Andi finally tells Karen what's going on with the whole picture thing. Karen gets mad because she felt like Andi knew all about it, didn't tell her about it because of Fatima. She feels betrayed. She feels like had Andi at least told her, she could have called Zach and let him know she had nothing to do with the situation. Now, I could understand that. I can understand that part, but at the same time, as long as Andi in between this whole little triangle thing that's going on between Zach, Fatima, and Karen, she, is gonna be cased up and caught in the middle like this. So I don't know what to tell her. So basically, Karen, she hollering and screaming. She getting madder and madder. Andi over there telling her to calm down, trying to get some reinforcement from Aaron. Karen told her Aaron don't have a damn thing to do with this, leave him out of it, and basically kick Andi out her house. She storms in the room. Aaron tries to go and talk to Andi. Then she gets all mad and take her little anger out on him, talking about, oh, so now you can talk and all this and that. I'm like, girl, just go home. Aaron doesn't have to talk to you at all. It's not his business. Just go home. So Karen asks Aaron to come in the room and she checks on him to make sure he's okay and tells him he doesn't have to be playing all macho and all of that. He tells her he is fine and wants to know does Zach always act like that? Now, Aaron, that's not the first fight you and Zach have had, so you know how Zach acts every time he gets around you, so why are you asking that? Karen says he does that when he feels like he's been wronged. And she tries to explain the whole salon situation, and he tells her it's okay. She says that she knows she needs to apologize to Andi. She saw the hurt in her eyes, but she felt like she was just as hurt because she didn't know about the picture. But she says she will apologize to her in the morning. She just want to get some rest for now. And then she remembers that she needed to call Pam because Pam didn't send her the video of the salon or whatever. So she calls Pam. Pam tells her they're still in there working. Such and such still has a client. And, she'll send her the video and this and that. She told her she heard about what happened at the restaurant. How the hell Pam heard that is beyond me. That girl got ears to the street. So Pam gonna tell Karen that Zach going to hell. And Karen was like, well, why you say that? She said, because he done hit one of the Lord's messengers trying to say, talk about Aaron. I'm like, Pam is so silly. So she told her, look, she need to come in late tomorrow and she need Karen to open because she got to get her beauty rest too. Karen over there talking about she got to get some rest. Like, girl, that's your shop. Like, get your butt up in there. So they end up hanging up, which they thought they hung up, and Pam over there talking about Karen micromanaging her, and Karen like, girl, I'm still on the phone. She tells her, oh, okay. So we go over to Andi's, and she's on the phone with the doorman, and she's telling the doorman to go ahead and let the person up. We don't see who it is just yet. She then gets a phone call from Fatima, and Fatima is telling her that she is going to stay in a hotel overnight and that she's going to be late for work the next morning. And Andi tells her, don't do that. Come over here to the penthouse. I have 3 extra bedrooms and you can stay there. And Fatima, of course, is like, are you sure? Are you sure? And she's like, yes, come on over. So she told her she'll be there soon. As they're hanging up, in from the elevator walks Robin. So Robin stops by just to tell Andi that he saw Gary at the restaurant and that the two of them had a talk and he let him know what he was up to and that he had the money. Andi was like, well, are you sure you wanted to do that? Was that wise? Because Gary is very cunning. They use that word for Gary like 3 or 4 times throughout the season. Like, okay, we get it. He's shrewd, he's cunning, okay, whatever. And Robin basically is like, he got it, he got it under control. He'll see her tomorrow, bright and early the next morning. So I'm not sure why he just didn't call, because that was like a waste of a scene to me. But whatever. So Fatima finally gets over there to Andi's house, and Andi's greeting her with open arms and giving her this big hug, like, oh, come here, like, let me coddle you type thing. And Fatima acting like she's some kind of victim, like something happened to her. Like, girl, nothing happened to you today. Take some accountability from everything that happened, starting from you not communicating and jamming that phone up in his face. You get over there like, oh, he blew up. He just was so mad. What about you? Were you not mad? Did you not storm out? Did you not mush him in his face? Now y'all know if that was the other way around, it would have been World War III going on. But she get to mush people all in their face and all this and run off. Oh, he was mad. What were you then, girl? What were you? You need to apologize. Nobody put their hands on you and nobody was disrespecting you. He said he was going to bed. You said I wanted him to go sleep on the couch. You're not his mother or anything. Why did he need to go sleep on the couch? He didn't want to talk about the issue anymore and said he was going to lay down. He was going to bed. He was done. Oh, you going to sleep on the couch? Girl, who you think you are? No, he said not in his house. And he didn't mean it like, oh, this not your house. It's still y'all house together. You still share it. Stop acting like that, because that's ridiculous. You taking off the ring and talking about you going back to your apartment and all this. Do what you got to do, girl. Do what you got to do. Because you really need to probably be by yourself, or maybe realize that, you and Zach need a little time away from each other anyway. Maybe y'all need a little bit of time. Maybe you need to miss him a little bit. But see, you can't never miss him because Zach always running like a little puppy dog, running behind you, begging and pleading and sniffing and snotting. And that's just, getting on my goddamn nerves. After you mushed him in his damn face and he come crying like a little puppy. Child, bye. Anyway, Andi over there talking about the two of you are happy together and talking as if maybe they can work it out. Fatima like, no, like, no, not this time. Like, oh, it was just so explosive. No, it could have been worse than that in the real world. But hey, it is what it is. So she was like, don't let Karen come between y'all. And we hear the elevator ding. In walks Karen off the elevator, which we heard her say she was going to lay her ass down and get some rest. But why she there is beyond me. Talking about, please don't. And the episode ends there. So that'll do it for this week. They done ran my little blood pressure up and things. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.